Welcome to Yin Yoga this evening, and the practice tonight is themed around the element of water. And not surprisingly, the water element is associated with the organs and energy lines in the body, the bladder and the kidney, because these are the organs in the body that process out the fluids. And so you might think that this practice is about letting go, right? That releasing of water energy, but it's not. Actually, the theme of the water element is more about trusting in the flow of life and some stuff around that fight, flight, freeze response and how we deal with things like trust and fear. So we're going to explore that a little bit in our postures tonight. And of course, as usual, you can choose to explore the theme, or you can just completely flake out, right? You can do whatever it is that serves you in this moment. So I'm just going to move back onto my mat, and I'm going to show you where the energy lines are that we're going to be working on tonight. And then we'll get into the practice. So just scooch on back. So your kidney line starts at the sole of the foot. So when you scrunch up your toes, sometimes you get a little dent just underneath the ball of the foot. So this is kidney 1, so right here. Of course, on both feet, the same. Kidney 1 is right here. So you might like to just, if this is accessible for you to sit like this, just pop your feet like this and scrunch your toes up and push into that kidney 1 space. So there's kind of like a little indent. You might find it with your thumb quite easily if you're sitting like this. So that's the first point of the kidney. And then it comes up the inside of the legs to the ankle, and we run the inside of the whole leg up through the genitals and up the torso, and finishes at the collarbones. So, you know, when we run the energy line, right, it isn't sitting on the outside of the body, yeah? So you've got to think about the fact that what is this energy line tracking in the inside of my body, right? It's not something that's on the surface. So that kidney line here. And the second energy line that we're working with tonight is that bladder line. So bladder line starts here at the where the eyebrows end. Oh, of course, as long as you're not monobrowing. And so there's kind of like a little indentation there as well. And it runs up and over the top of the head, down the back of the whole body, and runs out from the ankle, the back of the ankle, to the side of the foot, and then runs out the side of the foot to the little toe. So all of the postures that we do this evening, or whenever time of day it is for you, sorry, those of you, it's the middle of the day. And for those of you doing it at home at any time on the recording, so we're going to be working with postures that have us folding forward and postures which have us reclining and opening up. So everything's sort of hinging here through the hips, which is why I was at the osteo today, because I've been having challenges with my hips. So, and exactly the reason I'm having challenges with my hips is because of imbalance with the water element. So this is absolutely my practice. It's coming directly from my own experience and my own heart space this evening to share with you. So let's find a comfortable seat and start our practice. So a comfortable seat for you might be cross-legged, it might be sitting up on your knees, it might be with your legs out front, it might be sitting on a chair. It really doesn't matter. So find your comfortable seat that allows you to have a nice elongated spine. So you want to feel nice length in your spine from the tailbone up through the crown of the head. And once you've found the position that feels good for you, you might want to roll those shoulders up towards the ears, back and down, really opening up through that heart space and allowing those shoulders to drop down away from the ears. Lots of time we're keeping those shoulders up near the ears. We've got lots of space in the neck, so drop those shoulders right down away from the ears. And then just allow the hands to fall wherever they feel comfortable for you. So they could be on the knees, they could be in the lap. Whatever it is that feels like the spine is long, the shoulders are dropped, heart centers open, and really in a position of being ready to receive this practice. So when you're ready, close your eyes. If you can. If it's challenging for you to close your eyes this evening, just take a soft gaze. And once you've closed your eyes or taken that soft gaze, just start to notice all the parts of the body that are connected with the earth. So notice the parts of you that feel the earth right now. And then start to notice the air on other parts of your body. It might feel cool or it might feel warm, depending on where you are. Just notice the sensations that you feel on your skin. Now let's go internal and start to bring your awareness to your breath. Not changing your breath in any way right now, but just noticing how your breath is moving in your body. And if it feels okay for you, start to lengthen and deepen your breath this evening. So feeling your breath right down in your belly, feeling the expansion of the belly, feeling the expansion of the chest and up into the collarbones. And then you might like to take a deep exhale through the mouth. Just allowing the breath to exhale fully from anywhere in any direction it wants. So taking a 3-part inhale, if you can. Belly, chest, up into the collarbones. Feeling the whole torso. And then exhaling through the mouth, just allowing the whole fullness of your breath to come out from the body until the next inhale becomes almost automatic. So a few more breaths like this in your own time. Inhaling in with that 3-part breath and just exhaling completely and relaxing. Once your 3rd exhale is complete, just come to stillness. And just taking a moment to notice what's present with you. How do you feel? Just noticing what might be running in the mind. Just notice, no judgment. And you might want to take a moment just now to set yourself an intention for your practice. Would you like to focus on your breath? Would you like to focus on sensation? Would you just like to allow the mind to run free? Just set some intention that serves you in this moment. Remember, you are not a project that needs fixing, but just a mystery to be explored. What part of the mystery of you would you like to explore over our next 45 minutes together? Beautiful. So if it's accessible for you, let's come into this posture with your soles of the feet touching together. So it doesn't matter how far away the feet are from the groin. They might be right up, right next to the groin, like the heel, or it might be away, or it might be that you can't touch the soles of the feet and you want to have the legs out to the sides. Also okay. But what you want to do is position your feet so that you can feel some sensation on the inside of the leg. And if this position is accessible for you and if it feels okay, scrunch your toes up and use your thumbs to push into those kidney points. Remember, if you scrunch your toes, it's just underneath the ball of the foot. So find that kidney point and just connect with it. Don't need to press it hard. Relax the feet and just connect with the kidney point. Now, if you can't reach your feet, it's totally okay. Just enjoy this sensation of activating this kidney line. And now, in this position, we can also start to activate the bladder line. And the way that we do that is just by leaning forward a little bit, hinging from the hip initially, and then allowing the head and neck to drop down. So you can start to activate this bladder line up the back of the body. Now, not to, don't feel like you need to pull yourself or strain yourself forward. Just allow that body to slightly drop forward. And once you've found the position that serves you this evening, keeping those eyes closed or a soft gaze, relaxing the muscles around the eyes, relaxing the jaw. Even though you might be folding a little bit forward, noticing if you can release the belly and release those muscles down through the groin. So relax all of your genitals if you can. And in our first yin posture for the class, we want to employ the principles of yin yoga. 3 principles. Stillness. So once you've come into the position, just be still. Second principle of yin yoga is that we allow time. So we're going to stay in this position for a couple more minutes. And then the third principle of yin yoga, the disengagement of muscle. So notice where you might be holding on to any tension in your body, that it's possible right now for you to release. Scan your body. Notice where you're holding and let go. Our water energy is the foundation of our being, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It governs the bones, the spine, the body structure, and the brain. Our kidney energy affects all life processes from birth onwards. It is essential for growth and the maintenance of general vitality. Our kidney energy controls our Jing. So within traditional Chinese medicine, our kidneys hold our Jing, or our essence, our reserve energy. And we are born into this world with Jing energy that's from generations before us, that we inherit. But the way we live our life can either build or deplete that Jing that we are born with. So tonight in this practice, we are going to generate some more Jing for ourselves, some more of that life essence. So that's what you're doing in this posture, in this moment. Few more breaths here. Notice sensation. Notice what you feel. Notice what you can allow. Might want to take a couple more full inhales and complete exhales through the mouth in this posture. Beautiful. So slowly moving out of the posture, take your time, and then coming into our first rebound posture of the class. So maybe just unraveling those legs and popping those arms behind you and leaning back onto the arms. Noticing maybe some flushes of energy through the body, moving of fluid, any kind of sensation or not. Maybe nothing's happening for you. That's also okay. Just notice. Nothing to do in your rebound pose except to notice what's happening and to rest the body. We'll move into our next posture now, which is saddle. And I know for some of you that saddle is really not an accessible pose. So just give me a moment and I'll set people up for saddle. And then I'll set those of you who need a variation up, because I don't, saddle today is about opening this hip flexors at the front of the body. So I'm going to give you a variation with a bolster. So for those of you who are going to come into the full expression of saddle, you can line your bolster or your pillows up behind you, or you can be laying right down onto the earth, completely fine. Or I'll also show you a variation where you can just be on your hands. But if you have a bolster, let's do this variation first. So lining up that bolster right at your feet. Now, because we're doing kidney and bladder line today, make sure you widen out the knees. So sometimes we put the knees together in saddle, but for the kidney line, you want those legs to be apart, those knees to be apart. You want to roll that pubic bone towards the navel and then come down onto your bolster, arms out to the side, opening up through this heart center and dropping down into this posture, relaxing anywhere that it's possible for you to relax. So if that's the pose that you're coming into, remember you can have two bolsters behind you, a blanket, whatever it is, so that you can come on back. Now, if you don't have any prop, no problem. So this is the first variation for those of you who are okay to sit with knees bent, but don't have a prop. You can come back onto your arms or even onto the elbow. Yeah? So it just means the upper body is a little more active. Or you can lay completely down on the mat if that's accessible for you. Now, for those of you who can't bend the knees, here's my suggestion for you tonight, because we want to open up through the hip flexor. Bring a pillow or a bolster behind you and just come into a lying position, but have this, the bolster sitting, or your cushion sitting in a position where you can feel an opening here through these hip flexors, yeah? So you want to really push up with your bolster so that you can feel an opening through the front body. So finding the variation that serves you. And once you've found your position, you want to bring yourself into stillness. We allow time. And then let's disengage some of these muscles. So starting with those muscles around the eyes, relax them, release them. Relax the jaw. And even though that belly is stretched wide open, relax through the belly. And then disengage muscle anywhere else it's possible for you to disengage. So our kidney energy and our bladder energy and our water element really is connecting us with our ability to flow with life. And this isn't about giving up and just allowing yourself to move freely in any direction. Because we also know that when we sit with these elements, that when we're in balance, that purpose really arises from us, right? So it's not just about going with like whatever's happening around us. It's about our ability to move with what's arising from within us. And so in this posture, just taking a moment to sit with that. Our kidney energy governs our motivation and our will. When our individual will is aligned with our life's purpose, our kidney chi can empower us with discipline to move forward. We can be strong and determined and still flow with life. All right, when you're ready, move out of this posture and come to be laying completely flat on your mat. So taking a mini Shavasana, Please be very careful as you come out of this posture, tilting that pubic bone towards the navel or rolling to the side. And then allowing yourself to release completely down to the mat. Noticing any sensations that are arising for you. And if you're not feeling anything at all, also okay. Just notice. Taking a moment to check back in with your intention. Nice. Now bring yourself up to a seated position for your next posture. We come again into a forward facing posture. So in this posture, we want to have one leg straight and one leg bent. And just like when we were folding forward with our soles of our feet together, here you want to position your foot along the inside of your thigh in a place where you can feel sensation on this bent leg. So on this leg, activating that kidney line, and we're going to fold forward to activate the bladder line. So what we want to do is actually turn the torso towards the straight leg. So notice if you can rotate from the hip, and then keeping this toe activated up towards the belly as we initially fold forward, but then we'll release it afterwards, yeah? So you want to fold. I'm sitting up on my blanket, by the way, so that I can get a nice rotation through my hip. But if it serves you to be completely on the ground, no problem, or if it serves you to be on your bolster, also no problem. So rolling the torso towards the straight leg and then allowing the torso to come forward and maybe adjusting this foot. And even if the foot is coming away from the leg, you want this foot to be in a place where you feel sensation here. And I also want to start to feel sensation up the outside of the back body, activating that bladder line as well. So here again, no pulling or pushing myself forward, just allowing the body to fall. And when you've found your position, allowing the chin to come down towards the chest, releasing the foot, allowing that maybe to drop in or drop out, doesn't matter. Closing the eyes, relaxing the muscles around the eyes, relaxing the jaw and the belly. And releasing anywhere else that it's possible for you to release and let go. So just a couple of minutes here on this side. Checking in with your intention, noticing sensation or your breath. When the water element is out of balance, we may experience a lack of self-confidence and or a fearful, anxious and nervous nature. We may experience known and unknown fears, phobias, and feel emotionally and or physically unsafe in the world. And I find it really interesting that as humans, when fear arises for us in relation to this element's energy, we have a tendency to have two responses, one of two responses. Either to be passive and to just allow things to happen, or to be super hyperactive and try to make things happen. And this is for sure where my imbalance in this element comes in. With my tendency to overwork, overthink, overdo. And of course, thinking, doing, and working are all things that are fine. And even working hard is fine, as long as it comes from a place of being balanced and being grounded in our own essence, trust in ourselves, in our own divine purpose. But if it's coming from fear, then that's where it can be challenging. Because rather than because you'll know, right? Sometimes when you work too hard, overthink, overact, overeat, overdo anything, you can feel your energy becoming depleted. Whereas other times, overdoing things and overworking and over whatever can be really rejuvenating and feel joyful and amazing. That's when it's coming from the root of who you are. Gently come up from the position, take your time, and switch to the other side. So bringing that leg and noticing when you work on the other side, whether or not you want to have the foot in the same position or you want to have it somewhere else. Because what you're looking for, remember, is sensation here on this kidney line, as well as the bladder line. So activate that foot, bring the torso in line with the leg, and gently come on down. Notice what's happening over here, and if you need to adjust, adjust. And then when you've found your position, releasing the foot, and allowing the chin to come down towards the chest, rolling the spine, allowing gravity to be your friend. Notice what's happening in the knee, and if you need to release the knee, do that. Notice where you might be holding tension. And release that tension. When water is imbalanced, we may lose trust in our own innate knowing and in the flow of life. We try and force and control life, rushing, stressing, living in the future and reacting from the mind rather than responding from the present. Driven by fear for survival and security and a lack of trust in life, we may create stressful schedules with unreasonable time limitations, take too much on beyond our capacity, and overwork ourselves. This is sometimes coupled with destructive temporary stress relief, such as alcohol, cigarettes, partying, in an attempt to let off steam and reconnect with some emptiness. We tend to burn the candle at both ends. And in the end, This just leads to our Jing, our essence, becoming even more depleted. If on the other case, we kind of just give up and become lethargic and apathetic and even can lead to being depressed. Everything can seem like a struggle and nothing seems to flow. Just notice what's arising for you. No right or wrong, no good or bad. Just notice. Gently bring yourself out from this posture and come into your rebound pose. It feels okay for you just leaning back on the arms, or if you prefer, lie completely flat on the mat, it's fine. You just want to find a rebound posture that serves you. Maybe allowing the feet to drop out or drop in, knees to be loose. Closing down the eyes if that feels okay for you. And just taking a moment to be. Notice any energy, any sensations. Notice what's happening in your mind. So we're going to come into our next posture now. One that we often do in many of the elements, but tonight we're doing it for our kidney line. So we're going to come into Sphinx. So those of you who are familiar with Sphinx posture, you can find your own Sphinx. Those of you who need a little explanation, here we go. So I like to use my blanket, but if you haven't got one or you don't want to use yours, that's fine. But just coming down onto the belly. I'm going to give you a few variations here tonight. So if you want to line your elbow underneath your shoulder, that's a traditional alignment for Sphinx, with arms coming out straight. However, if this is too much for you and you already feel like this is depleting your energy rather than building your energy, then take those elbows further away from the body. If you feel like it's not quite enough for you and you want to feel a little more sensation in the lower back, you can always push up through the hands. Now you can keep your hands running out directly from the elbows, or you can bring the palms of the hands together if that feels good for you. You can also bend the knees if that feels good for you. The other thing you could do, you want to make sure these shoulders are down away from your ears. But if it felt okay for you, you could also drop the head down between the shoulders, allowing slightly more activation of the bladder line down the back of the neck. So once you've found the position that serves you, where you feel energy building sensation and no short, sharp, piercing sensations. If you feel something short, sharp, and piercing, you want to move away from it. But if you feel generalized sensation, this is exactly what we're looking for. So once you've found your position, relax the eyes, the muscles around the eyes, the jaw. And most importantly here, relaxing the glutes and the kidney space. So your kidneys are either side of your spine, just below your ribs. So take a moment to completely release and let go in this particular space of the body. So in this position, where our focus is on the kidney space. So as you inhale, notice if you can bring in some fresh oxygen, that word that I can't say, oxygen-fueled blood into the kidneys. Feeling the expansion of the torso as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel that energy running out across the body. So really use your breath in this position. Inhale, expand, suck in good, positive, fresh, vital energy. And exhale, release. Every time you release, feel a conscious letting go of the kidney space and the glutes. So release your lower back, release the glutes. Each time you exhale, feel more sense of letting go, releasing. Every time you inhale, feel an increased sense of building your vitality, your Jing, your essence. Continue like this for a few more breaths. When our water element is in balance, we have the fuel to jump out of bed in the morning full of vigor, drive, and motivation, where action feels effortless, connected to our innate knowing and full of life force. We are able to flow smoothly around obstacles like water. So water isn't just about laying back and letting everything happen. It's about moving with the flow of energy in our life. Notice what you feel. Notice what's arising for you. No judgment, just notice. Few more breaths here. Feel that expansion in the torso. Release and let go. On your next exhale, allow the body to come completely down onto the mat. You can use your hands to make a pillow if you like, or just run the arms down either side of the body, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And just take a moment to surrender down towards the earth. Notice any sensations that are arising and remind yourself of your intention for your practice. Just notice. Nice. I'm going to move you before any of you fall asleep. So if you want to roll over onto your back, we're going to come into Happy Baby. And if you're not sure about Happy Baby, you can watch my demo, and I'll give you some modifications as well. So in Happy Baby, I'm using my blanket. I want my spine to feel nice and comfortable. So I'm going to lay back onto the blanket. I'm going to bring my hands up to connect with the outside edge of my feet. I'm going to lay my whole spine down onto the earth, and I'm going to notice if I can relax in this position. So arms are active, legs are passive. So there is a little bit of a sense of holding with my arms, but I want to relax through my legs and my torso. If your legs, holding the outside of your feet is not accessible for you, no worries. Hold behind the knee, or hold the ankle or the calf, or if that feels completely uncomfortable, just hold the top of the leg. So you want to lay in a position where you feel like your lower back is completely released. So find your version of Happy Baby. And notice whether you can keep your shoulders down away from your ears. What sensations that you might be experiencing, especially when half of the body is active. So notice if you can close the eyes, relax the muscles around the eyes, relax the jaw, release your whole spine down to the earth. Feel your kidney space pouring into the earth, and as you inhale, drawing energy up through the earth, and as you exhale, releasing anything that doesn't serve you down to the earth. So inhale, feel the expansion of your kidneys. And as we know, there's no lungs in the kidneys, right? But as you're driving your breath there, you're driving energy, vitality, life force. Your breath, your prana, your chi. So feel that energy pouring into the kidney space. And as you exhale, drop out anything that doesn't serve you down to the earth. Breathe it in, let it go. Notice the flow. So the key lesson of this element is to trust in your own innate knowing. So maybe asking yourself the question right now, am I trusting my inner wisdom? And maybe even a deeper question, what is my inner wisdom? Few more breaths here. Beautiful. Release whatever version of Happy Baby that you're in, and just draw those knees into your chest. So hold on to those knees and let's take a twist together. So bringing the arms out towards the side and just dropping the knees down to one side. And if it feels okay for you, just turning the head to the other side. If it doesn't feel okay, you can leave the head in a neutral position. Doesn't matter if the knees don't touch the floor. It's really about just wringing out any toxins from that kidney space. Come back up through center and squeeze those knees down towards the chest. Open up the arms to the side again and drop the knees down to the other side. Wringing yourself out like a dishcloth. So if it feels good for you, just turn the head opposite side to the knees. But if it doesn't feel okay for you, leave the head in the center. Relaxing and releasing where it's possible for you to relax and release. Now coming back up through center and squeezing those knees into your chest again. Really give yourself a nice big hug. And now you want to set yourself up for your Shavasana, your final resting pose of the class. So if you want to drop the bolster underneath your knees, or if you want to cover yourself with a blanket, or whatever else it is that feels good for you right now, to come into a position of complete surrender and letting go. So coming into your Shavasana, your corpse pose. So once you've found your position, closing the eyes, relaxing anywhere that it's possible for you to relax. Nothing more for you to do right now. Surrender. And for those of you who joined last week, I was reading you a piece from the book that I'm reading at the moment called The Path is Everywhere. And I was reading you a piece called Setting Aside the Project of Self-Improvement, which was this statement about the fact that we're not a project to be managed and fixed, but a mystery to be explored. And I wanted to read you something else from this book today while you're in your Shavasana. And this piece that I want to read is about the not doing nothing. So even though we're a mystery to be explored, rather than a project to be fixed, there's still something about how we care for ourselves using kindness to bring us forward in our path. So let me just read this section to you. It is kind to take care of yourself and attempt to create the life you want. But you do these things not from a foundation of poverty, but from a place of true abundance. You already have what you need right now. The core ingredients and raw materials required to fully be here and to live fully. If you want to improve your life, you can do that, but not because you have to. Not because there is something fundamentally wrong with you or missing from your life. Rather, you do it so as an expression of the great dance, the play of the formless as it comes into form. You are no longer willing to postpone participation, stand on the sidelines, and engage the spell of unworthiness until you can line everything up according to your hopes and dreams. In the very center of your being, there is always an open doorway, a treasure of immeasurable value. It is you that can let yourself in to this treasure. Slowly start to move your fingers and your toes. Do whatever it feels good to do right now to wake up your body. So maybe stretching or wriggling a bit more, whatever it is that makes you feel a little more alive. Maybe shaking or shimmering. And when you're ready, roll over to your right side. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. Notice how your breath is moving in your body. Then when you're ready, bringing yourself up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And if it's possible for you, just closing the eyes for a moment. Dropping those shoulders down away from the ears, maybe rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Creating that openness through the heart space. Bringing the hands up to the heart center. Taking a moment to check in with how you feel. Bow the head to the heart. Acknowledging that sometimes the wisdom of the heart is greater than the wisdom of the head. Namaste.